investigation. And this is for a situation where you have x where you can't solve for y. It's not solved for y, so you can take the derivative. So you have 3 steps. The first thing you do is you take the derivative like normal. Like normal. And then when you take the derivative of y, write dy dx. Of y, right, which just means the derivative of y with respect to x. And then you solve for dy dx. That is your derivative. So for example 1, I have x squared minus y squared equals 16. So first thing I'm going to do, take the derivative of each piece. So the derivative of x squared is 2x minus the derivative of y squared is 2y. Oh, I took the derivative of y, so I have to put dy dx. The derivative of 16, well, that's a number, and the derivative of a number is 0. Now, my last step, solve for dy dx. So to solve for dy dx, I'm going to move 2x over, so I have negative 2y dy dx equals negative 2x. I want to solve for dy dx, so divide by negative 2y. Okay, so dy dx equals negative 2x over negative 2y. Well, what cancels? My negatives and my 2's. And so I'm left with x divided by y. That is dy dx, or another way to write your derivative of y. And just a reminder that that means the derivative of y with respect to x. Okay, next problem, something simple, example 2. X to the 1/2 minus y to the 1/2 equals 9. Again, I'm going to take the derivative of y, or I'm going to take the derivative of each piece. So the derivative of x to the 1/2, this is something hopefully you've memorized by now, is 1/2 times x to the negative 1/2 minus 1/2 y to the negative 1/2. Oh, I took the derivative of a y, so I write dy dx. Derivative of 9 is just 0. Move everything over, so I've got negative 1/2 y to the negative 1/2 equal dy dx equals negative 1/2 times x to the negative 1/2. Okay, let's clean this up just a little bit to make my algebra a little nicer. Well, I can write that as negative 1 over 2y to the positive 1/2, because remember, negative exponents, move them down to the bottom, they become positive. Dy dx equals negative 1/2 x to the 1/2. Okay, solve for dy dx. Well, all I'm going to do is multiply by what's on bottom right here. So multiply by negative 2y to the 1/2. Do that on the other side. Negative 2 times y to the 1/2. Those cancel. Negative cancels, and I am left with just dy dx. So I have negative 2y to the 1/2 over, well, negative times a negative is a positive, so that should be a positive actually, to x to the 1/2. 2's cancel, and I'm literally left with y to the 1/2 over x to the 1/2, or the square root of y over the square root of x. Same thing, doesn't matter. Next problem, this one's going to be product rule. So I have 2 sine x cosine y equals 1. Okay, so this is example 3. This is one where I'm going to have to use product rule. So to make my life a little easier, let's just label it, okay? This whole thing is product rule. F of x is 2 cosine x. G of x is sine of y. So f prime of x is 2 negative sine x, or just negative 2 sine x. And g prime of x is just cosine y. Oh, but I took the derivative of something with y in it. So I'm going to multiply it by dy dx. Now let's put it all together. Alright? So I have 2 cosine x times cosine y dy dx plus negative 2 sine x sine y equals 0. Right, again, the derivative of 1 is just 1. Okay, what I can do is, again, I can pull out negative 2's. Really, my goal here is we're going to solve for dy dx. So let's move this negative 2 sine x sine y over. So I have 2 cosine x cosine y dy dx equals 2 sine x sine y. Now to get dy dx by itself, divide by cosine x cosine y. So we're going to divide by 2 cosine x cosine y, divide by 2 cosine x cosine y. I have dy dx equals 2's cancel, and I just have sine x sine y cosine x cosine y. And that is your derivative. Last problem. Last problem. I'm going to ask you for the slope at a certain point. So I want the slope of y cubed equals 4xy plus 1 at negative 1, 1. So, first thing I'm going to do, take the derivative. Again, we're taking derivatives. Derivative of y cubed is 3y squared dy dx equals, now, again, this is product rule. So, the derivative of 4x is just 4 times y. Well, the derivative of y is just 1, so I'm left with 4x dy dx, because I took the derivative of y. The derivative of 1 is 0. Okay, well here, I don't have dy dx just on one side, so I have to get them on the same side. So I'm going to move my 4x over by subtraction. So 3y squared dy dx minus 4x dy dx equals 4y. Now the next thing I'm going to do, okay, I'm going to factor dy dx out. Alright, so I can get it by itself. I'm left with dy dx times 3y squared minus 4x equals 4y. To solve for dy dx, just divide. Okay, the very last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my x and my y, because they asked for the slope at that point, plug it in. So I'm going to have 4 times 1 over 3 times 1 squared minus 4 times negative 1. 4 times 1 is 4. 3 times 1 is 3. And then minus the negative 4 is plus 4. So 4 over 7. And that is your slope. Y'all have a great weekend.